What's up, Comic Universe? DPZ rolling solo once again, and this time around, this is going to be a new segment that is kind of like a tentative pilot, and this is Zilla's hit list. And what it is that I recently started a pull list at a comic book shop near me, and when I say near me, I mean about an hour's worth of driving there, and that's by bus, but I'm not going to get into it. And then not to mention 20 minutes of walking there. I'm not going to get into it. Point being is that that's my closest comic shop. But I recently started a pull list there, and yeah, I decided for the channel, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be trying to do weekly comic reviews. Keyword in that sentence being try. Because, yeah, my good friend Blue Goblin 01, yeah, he can't, he's got his life and I've got my own life, and it shows that, you can't do weekly comic reviews more often. But let's see where this goes. And why am I calling it hit lists? Why am I calling it a hit list and not a pull list? Because it's nothing but hits, baby. Nothing but hits. So, for our first episode in Zilla's hit list, we have 3 books. 1 Marvel, 1 DC, and 1 Dynamite comic. So let's kick off with the DC comic, and this was the first thing I wanted on my pull list, and that is The Batman Who Laughs. This is the start of the 6-issue miniseries of The Batman Who Laughs, which is a sequel to Dark Knight's Metal. Pretty much what is going on, I'm not going to spoil, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything of these new comics, because as of this recording, they've come out, so I'm not going to really spoil anything for this book. Anyway, so, like I said, Batman Who Laughs #1. This is Scott Snyder and Jock back together. Jock's artwork is great. I love it's nice to see Jock back on, Batman artwork. And Scott Snyder, I gotta be honest, guys, Scott Snyder is really hit and miss with me in terms of Batman comics, because there's some comics, especially in Zero Year, which I did not care for. But I did like Court of Owls, and I did like Black Mirror. But everything else is just kind of really hit and miss. Although I do find some fun in his Justice League run. I do find a lot of fun in his Justice League comics. Which, admittedly, the Justice League comics are kind of like an adult version of Super Friends, if you really want to look at it. So maybe that's why I like them so much. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So the story is that the Batman Who Laughs has returned, and he's hunting both Joker and Batman. And it's more or less, this comic is a lot of setup. There is a great horror element, which is really illustrated by Jock's artwork. And the story is that Batman Who Laughs is out there, but he's not alone. There's this another Batman who's working with him called the Grim Knight, who is pretty much if Punisher became Batman. That's all I'm going to say on that. The comic really goes in some really Scott Snyder kind of ways. If you've read enough Scott Snyder Batman books, then you know where this is going. But it is really cool. There is some oh my god moments, especially at the end, where there's one moment where you're like, oh, well that happened. Shit, better read the next book. Because The Batman Who Laughs, #1, is a neat setup. There are some twists in here involving Batman and Joker, and some were like, okay, why'd you do that in the first place? Like, if you're not going to go all the way with it, why do that in the first place? And you'll see what I'm talking about with one moment with Freeze. There's one moment with Mr. Freeze, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's one moment afterwards where I'm like, okay, you did that with Freeze, but why not, why do that in the first place if you're not going to go all the way with it? You'll see what I mean in the comic. If you've read the comic. Anyway, the other big story is that there is another Batman, Bruce Wayne finds the body of Bruce Wayne. And it's another Batman from the multiverse, but how it ties in with the Batman Who Laughs, we don't know. All we know is some serious shit's about to go down in issue 2. That is all I'm going to say. This is a neat horror book. I'm liking where this is going. I'm just hoping it doesn't have a very it doesn't end like a very Scott Snyder kind of end. Hopefully, this miniseries can keep him concise, because I really do Scott Snyder, while I did say that I wasn't a big fan of a lot of his Batman stuff after Court of Owls, I will say that I am a big fan of Witches, as well as American Vampire. Those comics I really love his horror stuff, so maybe he's in his wheelhouse, or Bat House, that's a bad joke, with Batman Who Laughs, because that became a fan favorite for the characters. Anyway, so that's all I highly recommend, if you haven't already, read Batman Who Laughs. So, moving right along to our next comic, and I'm going to go with, from Dynamite, Re-animator versus Vampirella. What? I'm a crossover guy. You think I was going to sleep on this? So, this is, again, a mini-series written by Cullen Bunn with artwork by Blackie Shepherd. Odd name, but that's the name. Also, about the artwork, I don't know if I got a variant, because I did get a variant cover when I got this issue. Maybe it's odd, but there's no color in my work. It's just a lot of shading. The only color is the blood, which is really cool. So I don't know, maybe that's just me. If anyone got that comic, let me know in the comments below if you got colors in your issue, because all of mine were just in blood. Anyway, so Vampirella versus Re-animator. Again, written by Cullen Bunn, and this comic is probably the weakest of the three, but I still think it's pretty good because it is pretty much this is pretty much set up to ever set up. What it is basically, Herbert West has discovered an ancient book in a Spanish monastery that he believes can bring back someone who can help him unlock death. However, that turns out to be an old enemy of Vampirella's, and she's caught on really quick. So that's pretty much the comic on a whole. Like I said, just a lot of setup, really, for this book, but I'm really looking forward to seeing where they're going to go with this comic, because I dig Vampirella, and I really dig Re-animator. I'm just waiting, by the way, I don't know if anyone at Dynamite's listening, but come on, guys. Why haven't you guys done Re-animator versus Frankenstein? That's perfect! Re-animator is pretty much a lot like Frankenstein, so you did cross over with Army of Darkness with Re-animator, and I think you also crossed over with Hack Slash as well, and you've done a few others here and there with the Re-animator. So why not Re-animator and Frankenstein? I mean, he's in public domain. It shouldn't be that hard. Just saying. Anyway, so there you go. Just a lot of setup. And moving on to our final comic of the hit list is Amazing Spider-Man number 11. This is the start of a new story arc that is a very holiday comic. What it is pretty much is that Peter Parker, who, if you guys don't know, revealed his identity to J. Jonah Jameson, and the two are kind of working together. Now Jameson owns his own podcast and is raving about how, instead of how bad Spider-Man is, he's ranting of how good a hero he is. It's kind of like if Alex Jones used his power for good. Ugh. I left a bad taste in my mouth. I apologize. So that's kind of what Jameson's like right now, but he's being duped by Kingpin, the new mayor, into him and Spider-Man going to a banquet. And I really like this. It's a really neat, again, Nick Spencer, who I was still half and half on, reading back issues of his Amazing Spider-Man run. I'm loving where he's going with this. And now we have Ryan Ottley back on the book. Humberto Ramos was on the book for a while, but now it's great to have Ryan Ottley back on the comic as he was in the first story arc. So it's really neat to see, where this comic's going. Especially because you get the Hippo. You guys remember the Hippo? I haven't seen the Hippo since that Dark Reign tie-in with Matt Gargan Venom. But yeah, speaking of classic villains, yeah, the Enforcers show up. And I was like, oh my god, the Enforcers! I haven't seen you guys in ages! Even Spider-Man's like, oh my god, I haven't seen you guys in ever. This is great. Again, Nick Spencer really knows how to do nostalgic Spider-Man with keeping it, new and fresh. So, Nick Spencer, good on ya! I'm still raw at you for, Captain America and Secret Empire, but you've been killing it on Spider-Man so far. And this story arc of dealing with this new dynamic between Jameson now that he knows that Spider-Man is Parker is really cool. I'm really liking this angle. And I like this dynamic. I'm also digging seeing, the Enforcers again, and the Hippo. Again, classic D-list Spider-Man villains now. But yeah, it was also, I like the little jokes here and there. Nick Spencer knows how to write comedy with Spider-Man. There's some great moments in here, like involving a Galactus toy. Yeah, it's a lot. There's a funny joke behind it. I don't want to spoil it, so yeah, yeah. Oh man. And then at the end of the book, I'm not going to say who shows up, but let me ask you this, to all the diehard Spider-Man fans out there. Who hates J. Jonah Jameson the most? Yeah. If you know who it is, then you know who showed up in that last page. And he ain't alone. because that last page made me go, oh shit, you're in for it now, Jameson. You are so in for it now. But yeah, there's some great stuff also with Robbie Robinson and his family inviting Peter for the holidays. Nice little character stuff. I'm hoping we'll get to see Mary Jane and Peter hang out for the holidays. I'm really hoping for that. But yeah, all in all, solid list, solid poll. If I was to say my favorite one of the issues would be Amazing Spider-Man. While I did like Batman Who Laughs, I do, there were some moments that made me again go, why do that in the first place? So yeah, that's what kind of took it away. So Amazing Spider-Man number 11 is definitely my favorite of the three, but that's just me though. So you guys tell me in the comments below, if you've read any of these comics, what did you guys think of them? Just comment below, let us know. And once again, if you haven't already, Hulk smash that subscribe button and be a part of the Earth's Mightiest Subscribers. I'm DPZ and I'll see you next time in the YOUniverse. Oh, before I forget, like I said, this segment may not be around, it may not be constant. That's what I meant to say, is that it may not be a constant thing, but I'm going to try my hardest to do this. So, yeah. But let us know in the comments below, what did you guys think of this pull list? Should we keep going with it? Should I keep going with it? I mean, I'm still going to get the comics regardless, but still. But anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and we'll see you once more right here in the YOUniverse.